You've lived through this in kind of like a worst case scenario type of a thing because you had two kids, you're a mom, you're physically not feeling good, you have the worst possible mold in your house. What is your advice now, looking back at what you went through for handling the overwhelm and getting yourself in a position to be able to take action with mold? Where does someone start?
I think I would tell anybody that what you want to do is just first try to do the things that you can control. Like if you're in a situation, obviously that's not as bad as mine was, do things like, okay, I'm going to, buy some mold plates and do some simple testing. Not even lab testing, but just like yes or no kind of plate testing in the rooms of your home. And even just the little plates can kind of give you a nice little picture of where and to what extent the mold is, and kind of give you a jumping off point. So instead of being afraid of knowing, look at testing and knowing like in a very simple way is very empowering. You've got this information. Okay, so now I've got the information that, the bedrooms are looking fine, but the living room has like a too numerous to count thing. And I tap tested the couch in the living room and that's where it's the highest. Okay, so you've done a lot with just some like a $36 package of test plates, basically. And from that information alone, you can know, okay, well, I need to address something in the living room. And I can start by maybe thoroughly cleaning the couch and see if I just do that one thing, like try to tackle one thing at a time and eliminate, almost like the scientific method. Do one thing at a time and see what changes. So, thoroughly use something like the mold spray and a HEPA vacuum or like a steamer and HEPA vacuum the couch, spray it with the mold spray, and then steam it and HEPA vacuum it again. And then test it after a couple of days and see, test the air in that room and test the couch again and see if that made a significant difference. And if it did, then you might need to consider, okay, maybe I just need to throw out this couch. If that's the source of contamination causing the air to go up, maybe I just need to toss the couch and, keep cleaning with like some mold focused products to sort of knock the air counts down. But like, I would just tell people, it's always good to start with testing, and then you can start with some simple cleaning things. And even if you have a mold problem, doing some simple cleaning can actually make you feel a lot better, even in a less than ideal environment. So do those things. And then maybe if you start to feel better, then you can start to like get your mind around maybe doing, having some type of inspector come and help you look for moisture sources, or getting really cheap, I think they're called hygrometers, but it's just, you can buy them on Amazon for like under $20, some of them. And it can give you some really nice humidity readings in the inside of your home. And simple things like just controlling your indoor humidity can do a lot for if your indoor humidity gets over 50%, automatically mold that's coming in from outside or on your pets, it can take hold and grow on your furniture or things like that, just because there's enough humidity in the air to foster its growth. So, there's just some really simple things.
Basically, you're taking one thing at a time, and you start with the items or the places in your house that have the highest suspicion, and allow yourself to take the time needed to figure out, is it, coming from the walls? Is it coming from furniture? Where is the sources at? And if I clean it, if I do certain things, does it come back differently? Like, do the mold counts go down? Do I feel better? And then basically you're telling people to gather the information and don't be afraid of the information. The information holds what you need to do the next right step, and allow yourself to gather that information.
And it's really cool too, because if you start, like, if you're somebody like me who has, been through a remediation or whatever, and you start to feel some of those familiar symptoms and start to feel bad again, you can do things like testing again to see kind of where you are with things and see, like, okay, the mold levels are climbing a little bit. Why is that happening? Okay, well, we've been like using the dryer a lot more. Let's make sure that the dryer vent is clean and it's ventilating enough to the outside and isn't raising the humidity in the laundry room. It's just little things like that that you can monitor and elicit significant change just on your own with.
Those are good suggestions. And again, it's easy to hear some of that and still get overwhelmed. Like, oh my gosh, I have to pay attention to my dryer vent as well. But whether it's your body or your home, one of the best skills in life you can have for your health is to be a good detective who's just paying attention, being present, and allowing yourself to notice things. And cultivating that skill doesn't just help you with mold, it helps you with your health in general, your life in general, with taking care of your house in general, and noticing problems while they're small instead of when they're big. So taking a deep breath, stepping back and being like, okay, I'm cultivating, paying attention can help, again, still make it feel less overwhelming.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
If something is overwhelming you, but it's the needed step, then look around at your community and see if there's someone who's willing to come and help you with it. Because I think, especially when you're making a step forward, and then that in of itself makes it less overwhelming.
Oh, for sure. And
I love that.
You can just take one room at a time. And another thing that is really helpful for some people too, if we had been in our situation and unable to do any, like to leave, the first thing my dad tells people, and I tell people now, is like, we'll try, like, even just get like the mold plates to find out what, even in the worst situation, what the safest room is in your home, and make that sort of like your base, your home base. Get a bunch of air purifiers going in that room, get that room as clean as possible, and like spend your time there to regroup and like try to figure out, okay, what is the source? How quickly can we remedy the main source? So at least you are, kind of doing what you can to shield yourself from the exposure.
That's a great piece of advice, to just create a safe space, a home space, because you can't handle the whole house, but you can at least try to start to handle like where you're going to sleep or where you're going to spend the most of your time. And I love that, because a lot of, the advice you guys give and the products that you have are all very common sense. Like, what is the low hanging fruit we can take care of? How do we tackle this? And I just think it's fascinating that you would never be having all of these conversations about mold and have all of this wealth of information to give people if it hadn't happened to you personally. And, the story you started with, there's some intensity there to the situation that you found yourself in. And if anyone has mold exposure, they know it feels like it steals from you. It steals time, it steals memories, it steals possessions, and there's a lot of negativity to that. But your story is just one of the ones that continues to show that even the worst things that happens to us can have that flip side and that gift where you can step into using what you know to share it with other people and help them out.